The iPhone 13 is an amazing smartphone, but do you know what's more amazing? Of course, you guessed it from the title of the video. Now I understand that the iPhone 13 Pro is about 40,000 rupees more expensive than the regular iPhone 13, and at this point I won't even advocate for the price. But if you want the best of the best and you don't mind spending that crazy amount of money, then guys, this is your answer. Of course, if you're new to the channel, then consider hitting that red subscribe button for detailed tech videos, and also turn on the bell so that you don't miss any of our latest updates. Let's get started. At first glance, you might be like, how's the 13 Pro different from the 12 Pro? I mean, yes, except for the new shades, they pretty much look the same. Well, yes and no. You see, the first time I held the 13 Pro in my hands, I felt the heft, which for some reason I don't mind on the smartphone. And trust me guys, this extra heft alone makes it feel extremely premium over the 12 Pro. Now, visually speaking, you might not notice the increased thickness, but you can't help but notice the large lenses on the Pro series this time around. On a side note, the lenses do pick up a lot of dust around them, and the stainless steel band is as fingerprinty as ever. But beyond this, the iPhone design is more about refinement and recognition, and so yes, the 13 Pro looks pretty much in line with the 12 Pro, or heck, even the 11 Pro. But is it a bad thing? Absolutely not. Especially the Sierra blue finish that I got for myself. I think it looks fantastic, guys. Plus, as I just mentioned, the heft on this phone, the shiny stainless steel band that you see right here. I mean, all these factors only contribute to an amazing in-hand feel, and of course, a superb fit finish. Apart from this, when you come to the front, you'd see that the notch has shrunk, and I think people can say as much as they want that the notch is ignorable after a point or so. I am not saying people are totally wrong, but for some reason, even after all these years, I still can't ignore the notch. Don't get me wrong, the 6.1-inch Super Retina XDR Pro Motion display, yes, that's the marketing term, is drop dead gorgeous to look at, but the notch does sometimes bother me still. With that said, there's no denying the OLED display is simply the top of the line you can get on any smartphone. Colors are tuned well, blacks are deep, you get wide viewing angles, and the display gets plenty bright, no issues with that. However, the cherry on the cake has to be the ProMotion tech, that is the 120Hz refresh rate. And I can go on record to say that this is the best 120Hz implementation on any smartphone on the planet right now. And the best part is I haven't noticed it taking a toll on the battery life as well, which is a plus. Now, this best implementation of the 120Hz tech can't only be attributed to the hardware alone, but also to the software that's taking advantage of it. I'm talking about iOS 15. So iOS 15 plus the super smooth display have been a delight to use. The software experience has been great, and I understand a lot of folks have complained about nagging bugs with iOS 15. Well, thankfully I haven't come across any on my iPhone 13 Pro. And while iOS 15 might not be the revolutionary big step over iOS 14, I think it's the little details, refinement, and the tweaking that matter the most. Now, to learn more about how I feel about the software experience in iOS 15, you can check out my review of the iPhone 13, which is appearing right here in the card above. With that done, let's move on. Hardware-wise, you get the same 6-core A15 Bionic chipset inside the iPhone 13 Pro, just like the regular 13, but the GPU on this thing has 5 cores versus the 4 cores on the 13. Now, did I feel the performance difference in the real world because of an extra core in the GPU? Honestly, no. That said, the iPhone 13 Pro is an extremely capable machine at handling anything that you throw at it. Even the most demanding of titles were handled with ease on the smartphone. I mean, this phone is leaps and bounds ahead of the competition. Like, if you talk speed, even the 12 is fast, and this 13 Pro with its hardware, the 120Hz display, its software, you are not going to have a need for speed, no pun intended, for at least 2-3 years with ease. Of course, one minor drawback here is that the phone, especially the steel frame, does get slightly warm under serious load, but nothing alarming as such, and through what you get is superb sustained performance. Coming to the battery life, and the iPhone 13 Pro delivers through and through. Now we all know that the 12 Pro had the reputation of running out of battery even before the 12, and the 12 in itself had a mediocre battery life. But when it comes to the iPhone 13 Pro, I think so Apple has nailed it, because the iPhone 13 has good battery life, but the iPhone 13 Pro has excellent battery life. So my iPhone 13 Pro with the adaptable 120Hz refresh rate lasts longer than my regular iPhone 13. In my usage, I regularly charge my iPhone 13 only once a day, and this usage usually involves making a lot of FaceTime calls, watching lots of YouTube, browsing my social consistently, and things like that. And with all this, I easily get over 7+ hours of screen on time, which in my books is amazing. Finally, let's talk about that amazing camera system. There are three 12-megapixel cameras at the rear, a primary, an ultra-wide, and a telephoto lens, along with a LiDAR scanner and flash. At the front is the same 12-megapixel camera that you see on the iPhone 13. So the main camera on the 13 Pro uses a larger sensor than the main camera of the iPhone 13. Apple claims the ultra-wide camera on the 13 Pro captures 92% more light for better low light performance, and the telephoto camera here, well, it's an all new 77mm unit, something the iPhone 13 doesn't even have. So how about the performance? Well, check this out. Given Google doesn't sell the Pixel 6 in India, it is safe to say that the iPhone 13 Pro is hands down the best camera phone that you can have right now, be it for taking photos or recording videos. In good light, the main camera takes some really great pictures with sharp details and good color balance, plus the dynamic range is also amazing. In fact, the details and sharpness in a photo are among the very best that you'll find from a phone. I would also point out that the new ultra-wide angle lens is the best ultra-wide angle lens that you get on any phone, period. Pictures were not only detailed, but the lens distortion was minimal, and the best part was that the shots, especially taken in low light, came out much better than previous generation iPhone models. Coming to the 3x telephoto camera, and one might argue that it might not be able to match the S21 Ultra when it comes to the magnification, but then again, be it night or day, I am sure this camera won't disappoint anyone with its shooting prowess. And yes, night mode works with the telephoto camera as well. Now, the only slight drawback that I see with the iPhone 13 Pro comes in the selfie department. It is not bad, but when you look at how good the rear cameras are, the selfie performance is just about okay, I would say. With that said, I think Apple needs to work on producing less boosted colors in normal mode, since I found the colors, especially how the phone dealt with skin tones in portrait mode, better. Night selfies could also see an improvement. Coming to videos, and the star of the show this year has to be cinematic mode, which I would admit isn't perfect, but it is the best implementation of portrait video on any smartphone, something that I have addressed in my iPhone 13 review as well. Apart from this, of course, you can shoot up to 4K 60fps videos from all the rear lenses, and the output comes out nothing short of spectacular. In fact, the lens shifting is so slick that it straight out looks like you have added a transition effect between two clips in the post-production. One more thing to note is that the iPhone 13 Pro can also shoot in ProRes, which clearly explains why we have a 1TB model this year. Anyway guys, let's go ahead and take a look at a selfie sample for now. So right now I'm shooting from the front camera of the iPhone 13 Pro. This is the 4K 30fps video. This phone can shoot up to 4K 60fps videos. So yeah, this is what you can expect in terms of quality. So I don't need to tell you that iPhone is the king when it comes to, smartphone videography. But yeah, you guys be the judge. What do you think about the overall output? I think so the color reproduction is excellent, dynamic range is good. How does my audio sound? Let me know in the comments. But yeah, that's pretty much it. This is how 4K videos look like when you shoot them from the iPhone 13 Pro. Of course, stabilization is also top notch. But yeah, you guys be the judge. Let me know everything in the comments below. Cheers. The iPhone 13 Pro starts at about 1,20,000 rupees for the 128GB variant in India and goes all the way up to approximately 1,80,000 rupees for the 1TB iPhone 13 Pro Max. And so yes, this is a lot of money, and as I mentioned at the start, I won't even advocate for its price. But if you decide to splurge all the cash, then keep no doubts that this is the best and the most complete iPhone you'll be getting for yourself. And no, I'm not calling it the best just because it is the newest iPhone this year, but honestly, this is almost the perfect iPhone I could have ever asked for. It has got the looks, its performance is unrivaled, the battery life is super, the cameras are among the best, so what else could you ask for? However, if you're still not convinced with me and you want the best that Android has to offer, and again you don't mind spending that hard-earned cash, well, in that case the Galaxy Z Fold 3 is the most well-rounded smartphone that money can buy right now. And that wraps up my iPhone 13 Pro long-term review. So guys, share all your thoughts in the comments below. As always, for all the latest in tech, stay tuned to Mr. Phone. I'll catch you all in the very next one. Thank you for watching.